Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we have a special guest. We have Adam Free from Adam Stargazing Astrology. Welcome, Adam.
Hi, everybody. So if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, Adam Stargazing Astrology, please subscribe. I offer interesting updated information. So it's always free to subscribe. And I'm also offering discounted astrology readings right now of all types. So if you are at types of crossroads in your life, if you have any questions about the past, present, future, or any aspects of life, business, health, finances, travel, anything along these lines, I offer specialized astrological charts for you. Again, at that discounted rate. And my contact email will be in the description box of this video.
Yeah, and I already went ahead and put the link to your YouTube channel too. That's already there. So I'll add the email too.
Great.
So welcome everybody. So I did set this for the public to see, but I did limit who can comment to my subscribers, which is free. But just subscribers for like a year or more, because I'm just not dealing with trolls. I know Adam is not dealing with it, and so we've set up some pretty firm boundaries with people. And, no matter what you think, you have to be respectful. And if not, you're just going to get blocked from both of our channels. So just keeping it real with everybody. So welcome. We have a lot of people here. Patricia, Tamlin, Ophelia, Cindy, Lulu, Teresa. Hi, Giselle. Hi, Christina. Sugar Wildflower, JK, Albie. Welcome, everybody. And if you guys have questions, you can put them in there too. That's okay. Let's see. All right, everybody's like filtering it. I know it's kind of like a weird time of day, but I figured you guys can watch this after the fact too. So, one of the things that I haven't really changed my mind about is that, there's even more investigations going on that we're finding out. So every day that happens, we're finding out more and more investigations. And what's interesting is all the investigations that we're doing in Massachusetts now. I knew about the first one where people were going to vote in Boston. They were showing up and there were no ballots. By midday, somebody had taken the ballots. And so we had to use our police force to actually go in and bring ballots into Boston. There's been a few things here and there that they're looking at now. And it seems like every time I turn the news on, it's like, okay, now they're doing another investigation. And now, mind you, we did go blue, as predicted. It would be, kind of like Adam in California, it's like, some states are just going to be blue no matter what. But I think we're going to see more and more investigations. But one thing that I'm having a psychic hit about, and maybe you can add something to this, Adam, is that I think there's a very good chance that Biden steps down sooner than later. That Biden's not going to be there and he's not going to be part of the picture. I'm not saying, I don't do death predictions or anything, nor am I saying that he's going to die. But he steps down and Kamala actually does become the next president in a very literal sense. Do you think, how are you feeling about Biden? Because I am still getting that he isn't well.
Interesting. What I'm seeing about Biden is that he's tired and he's running out of a lot of steam. So do you kind of mean that you feel like he's she's gonna run for the rest of the term?
Yeah.
January, he's gonna kind of let her sort of take over and do everything.
Yeah.
That is a possibility. I personally think that would be a huge mistake.
You think so?
And the reason why is because I feel like he needs to finish out his term, and there's a lot of things he's going to need to set into place, a lot of resistance. And that if he were just to give it up now and give it to Kamala, things would be disorganized. The things that need to be put into resistance right now, or the Trump administration wouldn't get put in. So from a logical perspective, I feel like he's gonna stay in to do that. On an energetic perspective, I see his energy waning.
Yeah.
Yeah, on an energetic perspective, but I feel like there's enough oomph and enough rally now, especially with Pluto going into Aquarius, which we'll talk about. That it's gonna set the stage for Biden to be really firm with a lot of things he's gonna push through that are gonna it's gonna help build a wall of defense now for us.
Mm. I mean, and I also think too, and I know like everybody has their own thoughts, their own ideas. So when I say that I'm thinking something, guys, it's not that Adam is saying it. Make sure that you understand, like what I say, what he says, he says. Um, I do think kind of like when I did that live ride channeling, the ball is in Biden's court. He has an amazing amount of power from the Supreme Court. He has all this immunity. He can stop all of this. Or put Kamala into place and let Kamala be the catalyst that kind of stops all of this. Because I still see, well, I told you guys, election would be a mess that day. I'm still seeing the certification day in December being a hot mess. And January doesn't look a lot better. And so like my predictions really haven't changed. And I think where I differ from other YouTubers is that I don't think the numbers are real. I do think that she did win. This was way too fast, way too neat and clean. I think Elon Musk had a big hand in it. I think DeJoy had a big hand in this. We know that there was Russian interference. I mean, that's not being psychic. We just know that that happened. To what extent and how much it affected everything, I guess that's going to be part of the investigations. But also, too, what did DeJoy do? And why is he still in power? Why? I don't get that. To me, he's a menace, but he's still there and he controls, all of those ballots that are sent in with mail. And so I think we need to like sit tight and let energies unfold. It's sort of like I have some clients that want a tarot reading every week. And if I let them, they will sign up for the tarot reading every week. And I always say to them, you need to let energies unfold.
Yeah. So
that's where we're at.
Another thing too is we're in Scorpio season. Now for the next couple weeks, Scorpio's the detective. Let's let all this Scorpio energy, kind of hopefully sort things out. Anything that has, secrets, lies, things around, a stolen election, let's get to the truth.
Right.
And dig things up with, taking advantage of the Scorpio season right now.
Yeah. And I think it's just important for like all of our viewers to just take a deep breath, because I always say, no matter what, no matter like how bad things get, we did sign up for this. I don't believe that a stork just randomly dropped us onto the planet. I do believe we all wrote our soul contracts. And I think where like a lot of my viewers get really caught up in all of this is that you guys came down as light workers. You came down to make the planet a better place. And that's really one of the most challenging soul contracts you can take. And it's like when you're the one that's trying to hold the light for other people. So I know a lot of you are feeling the heaviness of all of this, but you need to keep your vibrations high at the same time by doing things that you enjoy, things that make you happy. Not to be Pollyanna, I'm not saying that, but I don't think it's helpful to sit there and watch the news 24/7. I know I'm not.
Yep. So what we have to realize here on a collective level is that what just happened is now setting the stage for the next 20 plus years, when the sign Pluto, which represents our power structures, is now going into Aquarius. So politics is based around power structures. Aquarius is the most political sign, first off. Aquarius represents things like radical politics. And when I say radical, we're seeing we're anything to do with radical right, which is something like Project 2025, to
Right.
left. So what we are going to be getting and what to expect now with Pluto and Aquarius, again, unpredictable events, radical politics, technological breakthroughs, um, unusual, unexpected circumstances, maybe things like ETs,
Mhm.
new wave technology, things like AI coming to the forefront with things. Um, but at the same time, Pluto and Aquarius also coincided with the American and the French revolutions. Uh, and those are both what took down something like a dictator. So
Right.
for Trump is up now against a ton of resistance. He is going to continue to see a ton of resistance. He is going to pull this way. We are going to pull further away. This is part of the collective energy of Pluto and Aquarius. So no need to worry. Look at it all from a energetic, psychological point of view. This is now what we are going to be dealing with.
Yeah.
So so don't you worry, everybody. Um, because historically speaking, the people have won. The democracy won.
Right. Right. They won in the French Revolution. They won in the American Revolution. And I see in the comments, some people are like, oh, this is going to affect ascension in a negative way. Absolutely not.
No,
No matter which way this goes, because this is going to bring more people to the light and it's going to force light workers to step up. And some people do need to see it get bad before they wake up.
yeah,
So no, we are still ascending. I feel like we're still going to fourth density or fifth dimension. I don't see this having, no matter what happens, a negative impact. This is the time that the light workers need to step up and help everybody else out.
yes, and this is also a time where more grassroots movements, more community endeavors are going to be formed now with Pluto and Aquarius because Aquarius represents community, people coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and another thing to remember is that essentially, and we have to say unfortunately because we need compassion for these individuals who live in these red states where things like abortion are illegal because they are suffering the most with their ignorance.
Yes,
So that's something that
agreed.
that's where as light workers we can extend our compassion. We can't condone what's going on and we're not going to, but we can be passionate.
Right. I mean, it was interesting because the day after the election, I took an Uber. I decided to go shopping, little self care there. And my Uber driver had a very thick Spanish accent. And I get in, and he's like, "This is such an exciting day. We have a new president. I'm so happy." And I'm like, "You're happy that he got in?" And he's like, "Yes." He goes, "I voted for him." And I'm like, "You don't have any concerns?" And he's like, "No, no, no. This is good. This is good." And I'm like, "So you think that he likes people of your race?" "Oh yes, yes. He loves us." And I'm like we're living in like parallel realities here. I'm like more worried about him,
Yeah.
and he is sitting there rejoicing, and I was just like mind blown.
Yeah.
Um, and the other thing too, I have to say, because Adam and I talked yesterday, and I did mention something about, I'm a little concerned about getting, because you guys know that I take hormones after my surgery. And I was a little concerned about my hormones, because we know how, 45 feels about women's rights. Well, I looked it up. The particular ones that I take are literally the ones that people take to be transition from male to female. It's one of those. And I was like, oh, okay, might be making a trip to Mexico to stock up.
We'll see what happens. Um, what is promising though, for example, California, we already have already have Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
He's already fighting now to protect things like trans rights, abortion rights,
Right.
immigration rights, climate rights. He's already starting. Um, and that's a Democratic governor. So everyone lives in a state with a Democratic governor. That's already a good sign.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things play out.
Right. I mean, also too, because Trump doesn't understand tariffs and he doesn't work well with other countries, I am going to stock up on essentials, until things are 100% clear, because his understanding of tariffs is actually backwards, which is a little frightening.
Yeah.
And he's going to cause a huge amount of inflation if he, gets in and gets his way, because it'll profit him and his friends. But
Exactly.
for the rest of us, I think it could get, kind of nasty trying to get things, especially pharmaceuticals and things like that. So,
Um.
yeah.
So what I sort of see coming out of this energy of Pluto and Aquarius is that, of course, him and his rich buddies are going to continue to get richer. Um, as far as passing laws for certain things, he's gonna have a lot of resistance and a lot of opposition. So we'll see exactly what gets done, how much actually gets done. Um, so that being said, I looked at some major aspects that are going to rise 2025. So for example, in April of 2025, which is the first couple months in, we have the planet Jupiter, which represents expanse. Jupiter is going to be sitting right on his sun sign, which represents his ego, his north node, which is his karmic direction, right? And then Uranus, which is impulsive and radical and unpredictable and disorganized, which is basically Trump. So he's already very much a Jupiterian. He's going to come in the first couple months with these grandiose ideas, larger than we're going to see larger than life, right? Trump is Jupiter high horse. However, come May, the planet Saturn, which represents restriction, is going to be going into Aries. So that is basically a personal an ego check. He's a boom, ego check right there. Aries is the first sign of zodiac. It's all about the ram, all about new ideas. So basically all these new ideas he's going to try to push forward are going to be stopped and blocked by the planet. And they're going to be checked. So everyone out there, don't you worry.
I don't feel panicked. I'll be honest. I really overall don't feel panicked. Like the last time in 2016, I left the country. I'm not leaving the country.
Yeah, he's on top now, but he is in for a lot of opposition this year.
Yeah. What did you mention about January and the 6 planets and kind of like inauguration day? Because that seemed a little crazy to me.
Yeah, so for everyone out there, this is super interesting. So inauguration day is on January 20th. So I just looked up some major astronomical events that are and astronomical events that are going to be going on this next year. So on January 21st, there is going to be this major planetary alignment in the sky where we're going to be able to see 6 planets. Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, and Venus all at once in the night sky. Now I couldn't find really any astrological information on what this means. However, this is a very rare occurrence where you see planets. So I'm trying to each planet represents a unit of energy, right? You're seeing 6 up there in this rare alignment all at once. It just, how I'm dictating this is that there's just a lot of consciousness that's going to be activated. A lot a lot of new kind of just a lot of activation, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of energy. I mean, all at one time coming down at people. And when I pulled cards for that time, I mean, they're all over the place. It seems like it's chaos. To me, it comes across as like when I read it, as like being chaotic.
It's chaotic, but it's big, and it's overwhelming, it's big, it's chaotic, but it's also very like kind of groundbreaking and
Mm,
exceptional, and just quite massive.
right.
A lot,
Yeah. It's
lot's coming,
a lot of energy.
yeah, a lot's going to come through. Um, and I also see out of this configuration, I also see a lot of breakthroughs with a lot of things.
Yeah, I think I really, because I see people like even in the comments like panicking, like I'm
Yeah,
so confused. I thought the consensus was that Kamala would ultimately be inaugurated. Um, if you guys watched my raw channeling, which I did make public, it said Biden has to do something. He needs to step up. He he, I mean, whether that stepping up is him stepping down to let Kamala do it, or he needs to do it. It's going to unfold the way that it unfolds.
yes,
That is the thing. And I will always say I really do feel like she won, but that's my opinion. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of forces at play here, and we need to just stop speculating and
yes,
just let the energies happen. You know,
yes,
we can't control this. I know you guys are looking for like, yes, she's absolutely going to get in, and that's that. End of story. I think she may. I think she may. I think we need to stop projecting like what we want and our wishes, and we need to just watch it unfold.
yes. But what I can promise at this though is that democracy is not going to go away.
Exactly. I don't see it going away. I don't see the country in fire and flames. I don't, no matter what happens. Here's the thing, last time, like, I really did feel like, oh gosh, everything was going to get really bad and terrible. And it did under him.
Yes.
This time, he's coming in under very different circumstances. I don't feel like he has the same energy. Somebody asked about Vance taking over. I think that's like kind of a no brainer. Like, Vance would end up I mean, Trump isn't healthy either. We're talking about, remember what I said, guys, about there's going to be a period where we just kind of lose a few presidents all at once. And it's because all of our presidents are so elderly. I
Yeah.
mean, Bush, Clinton, Carter, Biden, 45. These are all old men. Some of them took better care of themselves than others. But, I think we're also in a position where, we could lose a few of them kind of like back to back here. There's a lot to play. There's a lot of shifts. There's a lot of energy happening. And I think we just need to stay positive.
Yes. Yes. Another thing too is the planet Neptune, which represents our ideals.
Mm.
So going to be going into Aries, just as Saturn's going to be going into Aries. So that's more of that warrior archetype of the fighting for a cause. Um, so that being said, there's going to be a lot of clashing. There's going to be a lot of fighting. Um, this is kind of more setting up the stage for high drama. Um, and and we'll see how much actually goes through. There's going to be stuff that does go through, but there's not without a lot of fight and a
Right.
lot.
But I think we kind of knew that. I don't think, I mean, because I never predicted smooth sailing with everything because we're too divided.
We're so divided. The division is going to remain. Um, Now there are some possible scenarios that can happen that are very extreme. For example, the Trump administration strives to push through something like Project 2025, right? They pushed that through. We sort of have to kind of deal with it the next couple of years. Things get really bad, and then the people revolt. We're talking about the Democrats and the MAGA revolt together. Things
Right.
which Pluto and Aquarius could bring something like that. But a fascism regime, I would say good luck, Donald Trump, with trying to implement that with Pluto and Aquarius. Good luck.
Right. And energies aren't right. Like, I mean, is he going to try? We already know he tries all these things. I mean, he's always been trying all these things. That's not new. But then the question remains, how far does he get? Our country is, I mean, even like say with Jan 6, our
Uh-huh.
democracy still held.
Of
Our
course, of
government was intact. We were okay, despite the fact we had this maniac trying to incite a civil war. We were okay.
course. And we still have court systems, and Biden's gonna push as much as he can, right? Which again is gonna set the stage for that further resistance with things. We will most likely see a stronger division in states. I
Mhm.
could see a further division between Democratic and Republican states that dividing things like that. So that being said, there may be the end of Pluto and Aquarius could potentially end up bringing like a shifting of maybe borders with things. Um, there's a lot that could happen with intense division over the next 20 plus years, which will be exciting to see, watch, and unfold. Uh,
Right.
yeah,
But I think too, right now his voters are celebrating because they think that he's going to help them. But when they can't afford to live and survive, and their rights are being taken away, and they're being deported, and their families are being deported, and um, you know, they're going to rise up and revolt. Right now, they're happy.
because he
They
won. All they care about is that he won. They don't really know what it means.
they don't understand the implications, but it's going to settle in. I mean, because right now, like they keep focusing on gas and eggs, and I laugh because like I don't drive, so it's like I never know the price of gas. So I mean, I guess I use gas in the loose term of like, well, I guess things get imported to the country, and and we move things around the country, with trucks and whatnot. But like I don't directly consume gas, and I am vegan, so I don't eat eggs. And I'm like thinking, wow, these people really cared so much about things that I really don't even consciously consume. But also too, once they realize like the price of gas will go up, the price of the eggs will go up. Um, it, yeah, they don't understand. It's kind of sad because they don't understand that they voted to have their rights taken away, and it's us. Like, I mean, we're pretty set. Like you and I, like, there's not a lot that's going to happen to you and I,
Uh,
but them, I worry about them.
yeah, well, there's soul lessons. I mean, they're the ones who voted him in. Um, so there's always a price. It's there's a price to pay for ignorance. It's just if you're gonna be ignorant, there's gonna be a price you're gonna have to pay for it.
It's part of their karmic lesson,
It-
and they will learn compassion when they are, when the chips are down. They're going to have to learn the lesson of compassion because some of them just don't have it. They have compassion for themselves and people that are like them, but they don't have compassion for others. And I think it's going to really impact them. Look at all your comments, guys. Yeah, financially strapped Democratic families will suffer too. Yeah, that is true.
True.
Um, the sad part is, be spirit, like she's saying, Black women did not vote Trump in. We never did. I think I'm more surprised at how many people of color um, actually did vote for him. I mean, it's amazing when you look at, all the interviews and exit polls and the data that's come back. How many of them did vote against their? I mean, even that Uber driver that I had who could barely speak English, he was so thrilled that Trump is, going to be president. And I'm like, wow, like you really don't think that's going to be a problem for you? No, no, no. And I'm like, wow. So they don't get what they've done. So they need to wake up. It's sad.
Uh, what I'm almost kind of seeing is here is that people are going to have to wake up to the varying degree that they've been asleep.
Right? I mean, and the question that I keep seeing people ask, why do we all have to suffer the consequences? It's because we're a collective and we agreed to be part of this collective. So think about it. You know, especially in terms of astrology, you determine the date of birth, which means that you determined your parents, which means that you determined your country of origin. And when you look at your chart, you can see what country you're going to be in. Astrocartography, I think, is fascinating. I know sometimes we feel like, wait, I didn't sign up. How could I have signed up for this? Like, what was I thinking? You know, was I like drunk on the other side? But we did it because it makes our souls progress. And we did it because we really wanted to help others. And the amount that you suffer is sort of up to you. And I've said this before, and I've used the pandemic as an example. It hurt me during the pandemic to see people getting sick, to see people suffering, to see the lines at the food banks and whatnot. But for me personally, it was amazing. I started my YouTube channel. I got into a great relationship. I traveled the world. I made more money than I had ever made. So even though like all around me it was horrible, for me personally, I kept my vibes high and I continued to manifest. And I see you guys in the comments asking about manifestation. I'm going to give you an exercise to do. It's so funny. It's an old exercise. I did it yesterday and it actually came to be today. So for those of you that know Neville Goddard, sorry guys. Neville Goddard, you know, he was around like well over 100 years ago, but he's sort of like the father of like manifestation and positive thinking and all that stuff. And he has this exercise where you keep saying, I'm not going to climb a ladder. I'm not going to climb a ladder. I'm not going to climb a ladder. And then you imagine climbing a ladder. And you just kind of keep imagining it a few times. Go for a few days. Imagine climbing a ladder. So I was like, all right, this sounds kind of silly, but I did it yesterday. Today, I was talking to my friend who is psychic. She has this oracle deck, and she was pulling some cards for me. And she pulled a card that literally was a ladder. It actually said ladder on it. So that goes to show you like how much you can manipulate reality. I just happened to be talking to her at the right time while she had that oracle deck. She just happened to pick, you know, that card that said ladder, which shows you how malleable reality is. You're not as stuck as you think. And I try to teach that in membership. And so you keep your vibes high, despite what's going on around you. You find that inner peace. You know, you can be in the middle of the storm. Have empathy for those that are in the storm that can't see their way out of it, but you don't have to participate. Observe, don't absorb. You know, I hope that makes sense to you guys.
Another thing that I wanted to point out there too is that we're so addicted to the media. We have overload, and we're listening to a million different people say a million different things, and then we get scattered. So to realize that a lot of these things that these politicians say are just flinging words back and forth.
Yes.
More than that. So a lot of the drama is just this.
Right. I'm good. I don't engage in it.
Yeah, it's this. It's just throwing things back and forth. Now Trump's his elected attorney general. We're gonna throw Letitia James in jail. Now we're gonna present her. We're gonna throw the whole Biden family. They're gonna get put in jail now. You know, things. It's just this. That's all it is. It's this.
Right. Right. And I see a lot of you saying, you know, don't be passive, take action. That's great. Take the action, write your emails to, your politicians, make the phone calls, but you can't live in that energy. I'm going to constantly take action 24/7. I have to do something. I have to do something, because then you're creating anxiety. There's only so much action you can take, right? There's only so many emails you can write. There's only so much you can do. So yes, take action, but also trust in the process. I think I have a lot more trust and faith than a lot of you. I don't feel panicked. And you guys keep asking the same question and I keep giving the same answer. So I don't know how else to explain it. Watch my old videos, watch the videos that I've done. I have not changed my stance, but I see you guys asking the same question. Yeah, Kate says, understand what is in our control and what isn't. An election's not in your control entirely. It's only in control in the sense, that you can go and vote. Keep your vibes high. You can do manifestation work, and try to hope for that outcome. But that's about it. Now we need to let the energies play out. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Yeah, some of you guys are concerned about Ukraine. I think that's one of those things that we're going to have to wait and see.
We're gonna have to wait and see. This obviously is going to have impacts on an impact on the whole world. There's going to be some moving and shifting. I mean, yeah, we will see exactly what happens.
Right. I mean, what's that saying? If America catches a cold, the world sneezes. It's right, it's that domino effect. It trickles out to the rest of the world what happens here. So I love that Deborah, she feels calm. Yeah, I feel calm. I have a lot of faith and a lot of trust that things are going to be just fine. I am not freaking out. I am not panicked. Take a deep breath, everybody. Did you see anything else astrologically for 2025? I know April sounds intense. That sounds like a big energy. January, obviously.
July 2025, the planet Uranus is going to be going into Gemini, which is really interesting. So Uranus is all about unpredictability. Uranus rules Aquarius, which is very, very much about that technology wave as well. So this is a big transition in business, new technology, but also things like shifting of borders and boundaries. So that is going to be big at play, mostly the second year.
Yeah, I mean, right. And it's tough. I mean, with Ukraine, we sort of got involved, but not fully. They weren't part of NATO. I mean, that was a tough situation to begin with.
Yeah.
It is. And I suspect, China is going to ramp things up with Taiwan. I wouldn't be surprised. Especially if, 45 does try anything, they're going to make their move on Taiwan. Not countries I would want to be in right now,
Yeah.
Christina says, I'm so tired of feeling fear when it comes to Trump, but remember, fear is always a choice.
Well, so Trump is going to be president again. However, people are not scared of Trump. No, people are not going to back down. So no need to feel fear with this guy. What you can do too is, when you're feeling fear, it's like you're looking at someone that's big. What you can do is diminish him, make him this man. Trump, you're this big, right? Crush him. If you see him on TV, right, just crush him.
Right.
You psychologically shrink him. Because
absolutely,
people are not scared of Trump.
No, that ship sailed.
Yeah.
They saw that he was ineffective.
Yeah, people like Letitia James, Kamala Harris, people like this, once he's in again, people are not backing down out of fear for Trump.
No.
So don't put yourself in that place and contribute to a collective that maybe scared of Trump. So that's what you can do collectively, is diminish his power.
Right. And I think like the more fear people put out, the more, I mean, because you manifest whatever you put out. So if you're putting out fear, stress, and anxiety, you get back fear, stress, and anxiety. And then before you know it, you start getting sickness, you lose your job. Like all these horrible things just start trickling into your life because all you're putting out is negativity.
Yeah.
But that's a choice. And you have free choice to do. You can make yourself as miserable as you like. You have free will.
Exactly. But what you can do is, do exercises to diminish the power of Donald Trump.
Yeah. And especially over your own life.
Yeah. Over as a collective, we're not scared of Donald Trump.
No. And the thing is, I mean, he didn't even pay for like the stadiums that he was in. So I mean, people are not going to be like running up to help him anymore. He's not getting that massive support because they all ended up in jail, right? They all have lost their fortunes. So there's not going to be a lot of new folks saying, yeah, I'm going to give up everything I've worked my entire life for this man, because I have seen what happens. I mean, look at Rudy Giuliani, look at Steve Bannon, look at these people. They have lost everything. The people that were in Jan 6, so many of them, they've lost everything. So he doesn't wield the power that I think you guys think, but you're making him into this huge monster. So for you, he does. But that's your choice.
Oh, shrinking him. Making him into a tiny little man.
Right? Yeah. You wonder how Jack Smith is feeling these days. I don't know, but he needs to take some action, right? He needs to get moving.
These people are, there is proactivity going on as we speak.
Absolutely.
Since the Pluto in Aquarius is resistance. Resist.
Right. And like we were talking yesterday too about, okay, so this is the same energy as, the French Revolution, the American Revolution. But what does a revolution look like in America in 2025? Are we grabbing our muskets? Are we taking to our keyboards? What does it look? We don't know, because no country like us is having a revolution.
Yep.
But I think we're about to find out. But we already knew that. Like we knew that this energy was coming. Why some people are so shocked? Because I know, like you have said it, I have talked about it, but yet now that it's happening, people are like, it's amazing how I think people just really took out of everything that everyone's been saying what they wanted, and they pushed out the stuff they didn't like. But now that we're in it, they're like totally shocked, which I don't understand.
Yeah. So another thing too is that putting a pacifier into your mouth and living with a pacifier and only hearing what you want to hear is not a healthy way of going about life. That sets you up for things like disillusionment and greater fears. So for all you individuals who have gone down that path of a pacifier in your mouth, this is a real wake-up call for you to really take some action and some steps in owning your own personal power and getting out of fear about the current situation, and contributing collectively to strength and to resistance against really standing up for what you believe in. That is energy that is going to conquer this battle.
Yeah, and Paula, he may not be certified. Let's see. Even if he is, things can change. We are going into like a revolutionary energy. But here's what I don't want you to think is like it's a guarantee. Nobody can guarantee that. Nobody.
Oh.
There's nobody that can guarantee that for you. Nobody. There's no astrologer, there's no psychic, there's no politician, no historian. There is nobody. So you have to live in the here and now. And I say live in the moment. Don't pray, because some of you guys, you're not being mindful. you're being in the future and you're being in the worst possible scenario of the future.
Yeah.
And I will guarantee, even if, say, Kamala does get in and whatnot, because you've worked so hard at manifesting a bad future for yourself, you will absolutely get that bad future, even if she does make it in.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna lose the job. You're gonna lose the husband, the boyfriend, or whatever. Like, you're gonna get that because that is what you.
Yeah, you're so invested in that.
You're so invested in the stress and the anxiety. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. 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 So, there are lessons in here right now about holding our own personal power,
Yes.
about not giving into collective fear. Because guess what? If we were all to give in to the collective fear of Donald Trump, that's when he would rise to dictatorship.
Exactly.
Reflecting our collective fear of him taking over, right? So if you don't want that to happen, don't give it any more thought.
Right, exactly. Imagine a beautiful life for yourself.
Yes.
Take my manifestation course, guys. And that's why, like, I think more and more you might see me. I will have videos for the public, but only like members that I know have, taken like my courses and stuff can actually comment, because what I don't want to happen, and I've said this ever since I started my channel, is for my channel to be a low vibrational channel where it just fear mongers and, perpetuates stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
Yes, June. Self-care, self-reflection, manifest a better life. Yes.
Self-care. And there are things you can do, right? Speak your mind on Facebook, right? There are public platforms in which you can speak your mind. You don't like Elon Musk? Ban Twitter.
Right.
There are things you can personally do.
I'm not on Twitter.
Me neither.
Yes, Deborah says it's all going to work out. I agree. It is going to work out.
The United States has worked this hard to persevere and to keep democracy. Donald Trump ain't taking it down.
Nobody is.
No.
Because even if Trump gets replaced with somebody else, America's not falling apart. We're not going down that road.
Fans ain't taking it down.
Yeah. I mean, our democracy is going to hold. It has held this long. It's going to continue to hold. And I think overall, we're going to do the right thing. But I think people getting anxious while the energies are unfolding is just making it worse.
Of course, it's because, again, it's a shifting of energy, right? And with that shift of energy comes a whole new frequency and a whole new dynamic, and it's new right now. On Aquarius it's brand new, and it's a rebirth. What it is, it's a rebirth into a changing dynamic of power structures. So it's
right.
A lot of unknown here.
There's a lot of unknowns, and I feel like there is something about to happen that we just don't know. I think there's something that's going to happen that kind of shocks us, that's going to come out of nowhere, and it'll just sort of make sense when it happens. But at the same time, I can't tell you exactly what that is. But on the other hand, I don't feel panicked about it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I do think that there's I know that there's investigations going on, and I do think more is going to come out. I would say don't underestimate Biden or Kamala.
Yeah.
But give them a chance to do something. We just had the election.
Yeah.
I mean, a concession speech is not legally binding, and they're not going to do anything to cause a World War III initially. They're going to play by the rules. So whatever, but the thing is, I can't guarantee anything nobody can. And I think for some of you, I think you really get confused with those of us who make these predictions that we're omnipotent. I have look on my channel, it's a 98% accuracy rating.
Wow.
I feel really good about it. I am far more right than I am wrong. And so when I tell you to stop projecting fear, listen, it's not going to get you anywhere anyways, other than a stomach ache.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, all I can say is, when you're feeling the fear, sit with it, take a deep breath. Um, realize that fear is a powerful emotion, but it's just fear.
Right. Right. And like, I know a lot of you guys knew that, like, I've dealt with stalkers and whatnot. And, that is anxiety provoking. But I also realized the more anxiety I was putting out there and the more I was thinking about it, the more stalkers I was getting. And I got really, really good at manifesting them. Like, I could write a book on how to manifest a stalker at this point.
Wow.
Because I kept, because they would issue death threats. They would do horrible things. And so like my mind was always like, oh my God, you're not safe. Be scared. And when I was living in that energy, I kept getting more and more stalkers and more and more. But then when I actually stopped thinking about them, I said, I'm making the decision that every time it pops into my head, I'm going to say, I'm so happy and grateful that I am at peace.
Uh-huh.
And when I changed that paradigm, I stopped getting new stalkers. And the two that I was left with are not doing well. They have stopped stalking me because their lives, I know one has been fighting for her life. So, because stalking is not a good vibration to stay in either. As bad as it was for me, it wasn't good for them either. So both of them are actually having horrible, their lives are actually so horrible they can't stalk right now. So, think about it. What you put out is what you get back. Let me see. Yeah, you guys are still asking the same questions, which tells me some of you just need to let this marinate. You're not quite getting it yet. You need to have faith. Let it unfold.
Yeah.
This is like my clients that want the readings every other day, that write to me in like the middle of the night saying, I need a reading right now. You have to give me a reading right now. Let the energies unfold.
Yeah, and expect some unpredictability going on. Expect some unexpected stuff.
Exactly. And it could be good. Like, why everyone's thinking it's bad, because I'm actually thinking it's going to be pretty damn good.
Exactly.
Like, they're thinking, wait, there's something unexpected. I know the astrology is telling me so. And we can all feel it. Yep. But why are you thinking it's bad? Because I'm actually thinking it's going to be really good. It's a matter of perspective.
Yeah, it's a part. The astrology basically dictates how we, as a planet, are floating through a vast galaxy, and as we go on, this is forward movement. Believe it or not, Trump getting in again is forward movement. I know it's hard for us to all see. That's also something to keep in mind.
Right. We're still moving forward. We're still advancing. And honestly, I just feel like my personal life keeps getting better and better because I don't wallow in any new cycle. I really learned the art of focusing on what I can control. And I think especially, if you're in a situation like I was where you had stalkers and whatnot, I couldn't focus on, I had to do the practical things, with the cameras and, restraining orders and all that stuff. But once you do the practical things, then it's up to you what you do with everything else.
Another thing that I recommend too is that, it's that if you have a lot of time and energy, instead of sitting there worrying, get active with something. Get politically active. There's a website called Indivisible, where you can sign up for more localized political movements. So that is something too, right? It's all just, how are you going to use your energy here? Or
Right.
how use your daytime waking energy? Are you going to sit there? Are you going to just project the worst and just sit there in a ball of fear,
Yeah.
or to shake and move things?
And I always say too, if you wake up in the morning and ask, how can I serve? If you start your day with that attitude, it brings you out of your fear, your depression, your anxiety. Because when you start saying, well, how can I serve others? So, for instance, on Fridays, what I do is, you guys know that I'm an ordained lay minister in the Episcopal Church. So this morning at 9 a.m., I was there in the chapel for anybody that needed comforting, that needed somebody to talk to, that needed that safe space, that needed some kind presence in their life, somebody to pray with. I can't be focusing on my own worries when I'm helping others.
Yeah, service. Yeah.
Live a life of service. And I think some of our best presidents, look at Jimmy Carter, they've lived amazing lives because they lived a life of service. But living a life of service gets you out of your own stress, your own worries, your own depression, your fears.
Talk about an angel incarnate, Jimmy Carter, and he's still alive. I mean, talk about a sweet soul.
Yes. Oh my gosh. All right. So we should wrap this up. I thank everybody for joining me. I am going to turn the comments off. And I won't turn the comments off forever. But right now, there's a lot of trolls. And here's the thing, I don't mind the other side commenting as long as they're respectful, but some of them kind of got a little weird. And I was like, you know what? I really don't want to deal with this. I create my own reality. And in my reality, my channel's positive. And so that's how I manifest, a positive channel is I do the earthly things, which right now is turning off comments. It's not that I don't care. I do care, but having boundaries is having compassion for yourself and also making this a safe space for all of you where you don't feel like there's people attacking you because we don't need that on our channels.
Exactly. Really creating a positive, self-empowered space.
Boundaries are everything.
And then it's contributing to positive energy, which, as far as I'm concerned, we can never have enough of.
Right.
Ever.
Exactly. So focus on the good.
Yes. That's what feeds our souls. The negative energy is what puts us off.
Right. And we'll get sick if you stay in that dark energy. Like, honestly, like when I was like so stressed out with my stalkers, I was literally manifesting physical illness.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I had an epiphany. I was like, wait, I'm choosing this.
Yeah.
At some level, I'm choosing this. And it's so funny. Once I had that epiphany and I turned it off, the stalkers went away. The two that kind of remained had to stop stalking because their lives actually just got that bad for them.
But you victim mode.
What's
You're
that?
out of victim mode.
Yes, I stopped being a victim because I lived in that victim mode for way too long. And when you act like a victim, you attract more opportunities for people to victimize you.
Exactly. And this is what everyone needs to realize. Take your fear away from Donald Trump because he will succubus off of your fear, off of your collective fear. He will suck it up.
Yes.
Don't give it to him.
He's an energy vampire. He's like the definition of an energy vampire.
Don't give it to him. He doesn't deserve it. Don't give him the time of day for that. And
No.
he will have nothing to feed off of.
I totally agree with you on that. So, all right, my friends, I want you to all have a good weekend. Do something that you enjoy. Be of service. Keep your vibrations high. Don't feed into the news cycle. Let the energies unfold. Have faith and trust in the universe. It hasn't failed us thus far. So let's just keep moving forward. Okay, everyone? All right. Bye, guys. Let's see.